Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever been staring at a business case study just completely stumped, wondering how on earth you're supposed to get those top marks for the evaluation part? If that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we are going to crack the code on business evaluation and show you how to write answers that really, truly stand out.
So what is the secret to a top-tier evaluation response? I mean, let's be honest. This is the question that trips up so many students, right? You know the content, you get the strategies, but then how do you package all of that into an answer that examiners describe as perceptive, justified, and insightful? Well, here's the good news. It's less of a secret and actually much more of a formula. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to start by cracking the evaluation code. Then we'll dive into the three-part success formula. After that, I'm going to arm you with your 4 essential tools for analysis. Then we'll see them in action as we're putting the tools to work with a case study. And finally, we'll bring it all home by crafting your final answer. Sound good? Let's do it. Okay, first up, the 3-part success formula. And here's the best part. The syllabus isn't trying to trick you. It actually tells you exactly what it's looking for. It lays out a super clear 3-part formula for a high-quality evaluation.
And here it is, the magic formula. It all boils down to 3 things. Number 1, you have to make perceptive judgments. This basically means you're using key business criteria to properly analyze the situation. 2, you've got to make a justified decision. This is huge. You can't sit on the fence. You have to make a call, pick a path, and most importantly, back it up with solid evidence. And 3rd, you provide insightful recommendations. So what? What should the business actually do next? Get these 3 steps right, and you are well on your way.
So that brings us to the next section, your 4 essential tools. Now, how do we make those perceptive judgments we just talked about? Well, you need a toolkit. Think of these 4 criteria as your go-to essential tools for breaking down any business strategy or problem that comes your way. Tool number 1, competitiveness. This one is pretty straightforward. It's all about how a business stacks up against its rivals. You're asking questions like, will this strategy give them an edge in the market? Does it create a unique selling point that no one else has? Will it help them steal market share? You're essentially looking at the whole situation through a competitive lens. Next up, tool number 2 is effectiveness. Now, this one sounds simple, but it is absolutely crucial. The big question here is, does it work? I mean, really, does the strategy do what it's supposed to do? If the whole point was to solve a problem, did it actually solve that problem? It's all about measuring the results against what you set out to achieve. Our 3rd tool is efficiency. Now, this is a little different from effectiveness. A strategy might work, it might be effective, but was it the smartest way to get there? Efficiency is all about using your resources, we're talking time, money, people, wisely. A plan might be brilliant, but if it costs a fortune and takes years to implement, it's just not efficient. You're always asking, are we getting the most bang for our buck here? And finally, our 4th tool, stakeholder satisfaction. A business doesn't operate in a vacuum. You've got customers, you've got employees, investors, the local community, all of them are stakeholders. You have to ask, how does this decision affect all of those different groups? A strategy that looks amazing on paper but alienates your most loyal customers, well, that can backfire big time. Now, those 4 big tools are your foundation, but we can get even more granular to really sharpen our analysis. You can think of it like zooming in. Depending on the case study, you might want to focus on specific areas like profitability or risk, or maybe the company's reputation. This is how you tailor your evaluation and make it super specific to the business problem at hand. All right, theory is great, but let's put these tools to work. Enough talk, right? Let's see how this all plays out in practice. We're going to walk through a case study about a milk company that's seen better days and really needs to find a new path forward. They're weighing 2 pretty big strategies. So let's get our tools out and break it down. Okay, a decision matrix like this one. It's your new best friend. Seriously, it is such a clear and simple way to organize all your thinking. You can see we're just applying our tools like competitiveness and effectiveness and listing the pros and the cons for each of the 2 strategies. So for strategy 1, launching synthetic milk. Yeah, a big plus on competitiveness is the unique selling point, but a minus is the huge cost, which raises questions about its efficiency. This systematic process, this is how you make those perceptive judgments. So we've done our analysis, we've used our tools. Now it's time to move to the second part of our success formula, making that thoroughly justified decision. This is where we take all the points from our matrix and start to build a really compelling argument. And this is what that justification actually looks like. The key word here is
justified. You're not just saying, I pick option 1. No way. You're explaining why. You're using the evidence you gathered in your matrix. Notice how for both options, it clearly weighs the pros and cons. For the synthetic milk, it admits there's high risk, but then it argues that the potential for profit and growth outweighs that risk. That is what a balanced, evidence-based justification looks like.
This quote just nails it. It brings us to the final and, let's be honest, often the most challenging part of the whole formula. Making a justified decision is fantastic, but to get those absolute top marks, you need to provide insightful recommendations. You have to answer the question, what are the concrete, actionable next steps? And here we go. This is a perfect illustration of what insightful really means. These aren't just vague suggestions like do better marketing. Nope. They are specific and logical next steps. Slowly phase out ice cream. That manages the transition. Convert the old factory. Well, that's an efficient use of assets, and market as 100% Australian owned. That's a clever, competitive move. See how each recommendation flows directly from the analysis and the decision we just made? So let's bring it all together. The secret to a top-tier evaluation response, it's not a secret at all. It's a system. It's about combining that 3-part success formula from the syllabus with your 4 essential evaluation tools. It's a 1-2-3 punch. You use the tools to make judgments, you use those judgments to make a justified decision, and then you follow it all up with specific, insightful recommendations. And that is how you crack the code. So I'm going to leave you with a question, a little challenge. Think of a real-world business you follow. Could be Apple, could be Netflix, could be the cafe down the street. Which one of their recent strategies could you break down using this exact framework right now? Give it a try. Thanks for watching.